Rape in the United States is defined by the Department of Justice as penetration, no matter how slight, of the vagina or anus with any body part or object, or oral penetration by a sex organ of another person, without the consent of the victim. Rape is a statutory offense in England and Wales. According to the law, rape occurs when a man penetrates another person with his penis without the consent of the person being penetrated. If a victim is forcibly penetrated with an object, this is classed as assault by penetration. By definition, men cannot be raped by women. This is but one of many reasons why men do not open up about being abused and raped, especially if the perpetrator is a female. When someone thinks of abuse, they typically picture a drunk father beating his family or a boyfriend being too controlling and forcing sexual acts on their partner. Rarely do people immediately think of a woman being the abuser, or a male being the victim for that matter. To quote the article Invisible Victims, Men in Abusive Relationships, posted on drnerdlove.com, in fact, according to Centers for Disease Control, up to 26% of homosexual men, 29% of straight men, and 39% of bisexual men have reported being the victims of domestic violence. Even more men, up to 48%, experience psychological and emotional abuse at the hands of their partners. Men are subject to the same abuse as everyone else. Dr. Nerdlove, as well as MayoClinic.org, lists a few examples of emotional abuse. They may insult you or humiliate you, especially in front of your friends and colleagues. They may belittle you, minimize your accomplishments, and repeatedly tell you that you're worthless or a failure. They may tell you that the abusive behavior is your fault. They may constantly accuse you of being unfaithful or require you to prove you're not cheating to them. They may keep constant tabs on you, demanding that you check in with them regularly. They may also monitor where you go and with whom. They may isolate you from your friends or family. They may accuse your friends and family of lying in order to drive you apart. They may restrict your access to money or finances. They may use or deny sex and intimacy as a form of control. They may snoop through your emails, texts, instant messages, phone calls, and social media profiles. They may hide your keys or your phone to keep you from seeking help. They may use false accusations or the threat of accusations of abuse to keep you in line. Even though men are usually considered to be larger and stronger than women, there are still cases of women being physically abusive. The size and strength difference often causes women to attack with some sort of weapon. Other times they may attack when the man is asleep or otherwise incapacitated. Some may even throw things, especially breakables. Dr. Nerdglove describes other types of physical abuse as physically isolating or abandoning you, restricting access to medication you need, preventing you from sleeping, intimidating you through threats to others, including pets, or driving in a threatening manner, including speeding or threatening to run off the road or into obstacles. Now, all this is not talked about too much. That is because men are taught that they are not allowed to be victims. Men grow up being told that they are strong and that it is weak to allow things to hurt you, especially by someone who is naturally weaker, or at least that is what many think women are compared to males. If a man allowed a naturally weaker female to harm them, they would not even be considered men. If they are abused by their homosexual partner, showing this would make them even less of a man as well. After all, the stereotype of a homosexual man is to be feminine. But what if the abuse is emotional? Well, why would a man let some words or names bother him? Of course, there is also today's mentality that the man did something to earn his abuse, whether it be because they provoked their partner or because they are being punished for not being masculine enough. It is also extremely underreported. While there are statistics regarding male abuse, they aren't the most accurate because it is extremely difficult to get men to open up about their abuse. They could feel they have no option but to stay with their abuser and keep the abuse secret. This occurs often in homosexual relationships. Dr. Nerdglove states, men in gay or bisexual relationships often have their orientation used against them. They may fear leaving because their partner could threaten to out them to coworkers or family. If the victim is young or experienced, the abuser may keep them around by telling them that leaving would be tantamount to admitting that same-sex relationships are inherently deviant. The abuser may have convinced their partner that they can't leave because the authorities would never believe a gay man anyway. Some may be afraid that without them there, others would be in danger, such as pets or even kids. They may lose custody of their kids to the abuser, or the abuser may begin taking their anger out on the kids. Or they may not be financially independent from their partner, so if they leave, they would have nothing. And all the hotlines and shelters out there, most of them are for females only, and they don't have the resources or the knowledge to help men. Many are also scared that the abuser may twist the truth, making the victim look like the abuser. Because of all this, men just accept the abuse and never tell anyone. But of course, many believe women can rape men. According to the article, Sexual Victimization by Women is More Common Than Previously Known by Laura Stemple and Elin H. Meyer on scientificamerican.com, CDC's nationally representative data revealed that over 1 year, men and women were equally likely to experience non-consensual sex, and most male victims reported female penetrators. Over their lifetime, 79% of men who were made to penetrate someone else, a form of rape in the view of most researchers, reported female perpetrators. Likewise, most men who experienced sexual coercion and unwanted sexual contact had female perpetrators. Why is this not more widely talked about? First off, the legal definition of rape does not include rapes with a female perpetrator. On top of this, there is the widely accepted idea that all men want sex, and that just because the man is erect, that means he wants it. Many believe that there is basically nothing a woman could do to force anything on a man because men are apparently stronger. For a man to admit being raped by a woman would make the man seem weak, for why would he allow a woman to do something to him? If a man is in an abusive relationship, there are steps he needs to take to get help. He needs to leave if possible. If he can't, because of pets or children or other siblings, he needs to call the police. He cannot retaliate. If he retaliates, especially against a woman, the abuser can easily twist things to make the victim look like the abuser. He needs to document the abuse, especially if it's physical. He needs to record all instances of abusive behavior with dates, times, and as much detail as possible. He needs to include the contact information of any witnesses. He needs to take photographic or video evidence. If possible, get a doctor to keep these records as well. Doctors are unlikely to ask if a man is being abused, so they will not take pictures. Make sure they do. Keep these records safe where the abuser cannot get to them, such as a safety deposit box or online with a password-protected database. If storing online, do so on public computers because the abuser can snoop and find out what is happening. Have a go bag ready, with cash, cell phone, your ID, and copies of the evidence of abuse stashed somewhere safe. If one does leave, go somewhere where you're guaranteed safety and support, such as family or close friends. The National Domestic Abuse Hotline is 1-800-799-7233. Domestic Abuse Helpline for Men and Women is 1-888-743-5754. LoversRespect.org is 1-866-331-9474.